Welcome to the Parkland Report. Joining me today, Kerris Lee, partner at Lost Points and partner also with the Parkland College Entrepreneurial Program. Welcome to the Parkland Report.
Thank you for having me.
Kerris, tell us a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? What did you do? How did you get involved in entrepreneurship?
Yes, so I am originally from San Jose, California. My dad's job changed to Raleigh, North Carolina. And in Raleigh, North Carolina, we moved over there. I attended NC State to work on business administration. In that, at a very young age, I got involved into entrepreneurship. And there, a best friend of mine, we looked at developing new T-shirts. It was quite an ambition, but we went forward with it. And we saved up, our allowance. We mowed lawns to save up money for this. And we started brainstorming and learning the process through a family friend named Willie Sinclair. And Willie Sinclair owned a shop called Raleigh Tees. In Raleigh Tees, we swept the floors, we learned the screen printing business, the overlay, and soon we developed the capability to develop our own shirts. In doing that, a lot of the kids at school would ask us, where'd you get that shirt? And we knew that we had a market, and so we knew that we needed to look at a name.
So you actually were basically working in a screen printing shop. You learned how to use this technique, thought this is pretty cool. We can make our own cool T-shirts. And you started making your own cool T-shirts, primarily just for you guys to wear yourselves, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. At that time and age, Nautica and Tommy Hilfiger are some of the big names that were out on the market. And although we liked their styles, we couldn't just always afford them.
Sure.
And so we thought this was a good creative outlet for us and a wonderful opportunity to kind of make our clothes. We thought that we could match the same styles. In that, too, we also incorporated and styled it the way that we would like to wear it. And I think that resonated with quite a bit of students.
So at what point did you realize, we got something that's sort of unique and maybe could be on its own, a style that people would be willing to pay money to buy?
Absolutely. It's really funny when you have a hobby such as this and it starts to make money, then you realize that you have a business. It really came to us and hit us where, a lot of the popular students would come to us and look for something different because, everyone was following their kind of take on fashion. And so we knew that we were at a ground level where we could influence people to wear our clothes, and that would trickle down to the rest of the school district.
So what, you were in high school at this point?
Yes, and we started this out of middle school.
Okay.
And so in high school, we started to, charge money for it, and people would come to us and ask, if we had jeans and sweaters and so forth. And, that really kind of expanded our whole thought in terms of just being a T-shirt business, but in being a clothing line.
How did you move from a cottage industry operating in a middle school and high school into the real world of the fashion industry?
So we kind of, what I call, leapfrogged into, a full-blown business by attracting media coverage. We were very young at that age, and because of this, we had a lot of publications. We were in 21 different publications at the time. In that, a struck of luck happened, and I think that happens with people that are really passionate and go hard with what they want to do. Where NFL athletes' management team saw us on the airwaves, and they saw an opportunity to possibly get connected and invest. In that, we met with Torrey Holt from St. Louis Rams. He went to NC State and graduated from there. And he was not only excited to be a part of this, but thought it was a great time frame for the fashion industry. He also wanted to design a line called Big Game, Big Play, as well as our line called Mosaic. And so we designed both, and we attracted investment from Torrey Holt.
One of the interesting things that I know happens in the fashion industry is that it's one of the few places you can go with a concept for a product without actually having the prospect, and rather actually having the product sitting on a warehouse shelf someplace to be shipped to stores. So you went to industry shows with an idea, with a concept, with a design, and then waited for sort of funding to come to help you to manufacture the product.
Absolutely. We went to a show called The Big Show that's in Orlando. That's actually geared towards manufacturers, so we wanted to learn the new technologies that are coming out, so that way when we're using our creativity, we knew how to employ it. We also attended the Magic Show, which is the show you go to in terms of monetizing off of your new designs, and that was held in Las Vegas. It happens twice a year. Anyone from Tommy Hilfiger all the way to Versace is there. And the buyers are all from, Walmart to Neiman Marcus to Saks Fifth Avenue. And so that's how anybody in the industry makes money.
So you talked about leapfrogging into the industry, but really you had this a concept, a design, a proposal, but you really did leapfrog. I mean, you went from being a concept to realizing a real business.
Absolutely, and it really materialized for us too when we went to the Las Vegas Convention Center where the Magic Show was employed. And FUBU, the owners of FUBU, came to our booth and was astonished that we were so young and at this Magic Show. They said that when they tried to attend, they actually had to sell their product out of the hotels. They couldn't even get floor space. And that was just, kind of surreal, just looking at all the other brands that were there and seeing yourself in there at the same time. The excitement truly came from Dido Corporation, which purchased our line and sold that over Japan, London, and the United States. And so that was the embark of our first, real world ticket, so to speak.
At what point did you realize, okay, I've done it, I've made some money on it, and I'm getting out? Most people don't have the smarts to get out of adventures. They usually stay in. Sometimes they stay in too long. But at what point did you realize, that was great, I've enjoyed it, I'm going to get out now?
Oh, well, this was an interesting time frame. We started our line in 1998. We ended in 2002. And during that time frame, we saw that a lot of celebrities, it used to be that fashion houses used to clothe these celebrities. But we saw that a lot of celebrities were licensing out their names to other companies and entities such as like J-Lo all the way to Nelly were bringing out new clothing lines, and everybody and their mom, so to speak, had a clothing line. And so it really limited us to ability to clothe other celebrities other than Torrey Holt. Because if you're an NFL athlete or NFL enthusiast, then you realize who Torrey Holt is. If you're not, he wears a helmet all day. Right. So we saw that we've had some great luck. This is a great industry to be in, but we're looking at the next thing to get into.
So the next thing you got into was the software industry, and now you're a partner at Lost Points. Tell me a little bit about Lost Points. And both in terms of the business side and also on the community outreach side. Absolutely.
So Lost Points, we build custom CRMs for a lot of ag businesses, Farm Journal Media, National Corn Growers. I work with DeKalb and Monsanto. We built their e-commerce web platform. In that, we also have a social responsibility that we look at for our local community. And in that, we give our time and resources back to the community. We look at the community as a client of ours, and we provide solutions to the community through our talents and other individuals that partake.
So one of the ways in which you connected to the community was connecting to Parkland College, and directly you connected with our entrepreneurial program. Talk to me a little bit about, we had spent some time communicating back and forth about having conversations about what we might do. Having done various different things with entrepreneurial programs here at the college. But we hit upon a sort of a concept of, or a model that we might use that you'd already tried successfully at the University of Illinois. So describe the model that you did there, and then talk a little bit about how we implemented at Parkland here.
Yes, so the model that we developed and co-developed with Parkland is focused more so on a capstone project. It's focused on real-world and hands-on experience to develop and also consult the community or clients that we bring on. And in that, too, we have a group of students that are come from interdisciplinary backgrounds and form a consulting business and have real milestones. The relationship that we have with Parkland is a key component of this program, as we have so many talented individuals from the design aspect, from the business aspect, and from the development, whether that's Maria Mobasseries, Mark Kessler's, or Paul Young's, they've been really instrumental in helping us get this project, as well as yourself in Parkland, how to get this off the ground. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, so we set off, we opened up the students, we chose a group of students, we gave them a particular project, and a very limited time frame to do the project. But then we supplemented, and you supplemented with sort of a structure, a guest speaker forum, liaisons within the community, business community, industry community that they could work with, learn about, and worked to try to complete something in a very short period of time.
Absolutely. We were honored to work with United Way this past summer to make a mobile application to help teach parents how to get their kids ready for kindergarten. In that, we developed an iOS, Android, and HTML version in 2 months with students to employ that. In that whole structure, we also had guest speakers come and talk to the students about each phase. We've had guest speakers such as Tim Hare, a venture capitalist locally here in town, all the way from Jana Diesner from UIUC and Laura Blau from the Research Park, and many others. And so in that, the structure has been phrased that we have the final deliver at the end of the 2 months, and we release that out to the public. So everything that we do in this program is not geared towards, you're consulting a client and they take that information and shelve that. Everything that you're doing for that client is going to be released to the public, within a 2-month period. And so that really incentivizes us and also the students to do our best work, because the whole entire community is going to see it. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a second, but first I'm going to take a short break. We'll be right back after this short break.
Our company is Lost Points LLC. We are collaborating with Parkland College to teach an entrepreneur and technology program. Here with our program, we simulate the business world by forming teams and collaboration, and also providing a solution to the community needs. So in essence, we treat the community as a client, and we solve that challenge through the use of technology. So we have designers that are here from Parkland. We have development or computer scientists from here at Parkland. We also have business or entrepreneur-minded students as well. And we bring them together with working with other departments to form this business alliance.
It was a chance to take my graphic design to a place I hadn't taken it before, to a level I'd never taken it before, and to an arena that I hadn't ever really thought of exploring up until that point.
I was really excited that there was something that was happening actually really close to campus, and that involved community impact. That's something I'm really passionate about, something I've always wanted to do. As an engineer, we've been told, find what's wrong with the community. Not what's wrong, but what's missing, and try and fix it, try and bring a solution. So this was an opportunity for me to practice that.
Over the years, I've come to realize that community is essential to the way we live. And this is one of those projects that can just point us in the right direction. And I wanted to see firsthand how that will work.
It was just a chance to apply some of my classroom knowledge and hopefully to learn some new experiences, some new technology. I'd never worked with a phone application before, was interested in electric publication, online learning, that sort of thing, and phone application ties right in with that. So I was wanting to, learn some new technology and get to apply some of the things I was studying in my academic classes.
We brought on United Way to work with them to solve a challenge. What they were facing was that they were trying to spread information to parents on how to get their kids ready for kindergarten, but they're doing that through the use of paperback. What we did in our program and suggest is that we build a mobile application and consolidate that information in that mobile application.
It was a great experience. It was my first delve into a real business venture. I'd very much like to continue in that. And it brought me a lot more confidence in my own designing abilities and in my own personal view of how I do things.
It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to work on leadership skills. I got to work on project management. I got to work with the business team, the development team. So I had my hands in a lot of different places, and that's something I love. I love learning, so it was a great experience for me.
I take away from this project the knowledge that I got from it. I'm going to use it in my own desires to do the same thing, develop applications and games to pull people together through a sense of community. I've learned coding and different languages. I've learned project management over a very short amount of time, and something that I couldn't do on my own.
I just really enjoyed the opportunity. Not a traditional student. I've gone back to school to add some more tools to my toolbox, and this was a great opportunity to get to apply that. To take classroom material and apply it in a real world setting and do something of real tangible value that I feel really good about.
Really, really great ideas, friendships, in addition to really showing the power of the students. I feel like each time I teach this, I grow as a person, and we grow together too. It helps me understand some of the challenges that students face, some of the experiences that they crave, and how to position them for success.
Back up to the specific partnership we have with United Way, and what was involved for the cohort of students was developing an application or a mobile app. Talk a little bit about what a mobile app is and the different types of platforms. You mentioned them, but sort of describe for us a little bit more detail on what that is.
Absolutely. So we were honored to have United Way as a client. Previously what they were looking at is they had information on paperback that they're passing out to parents to get their kids ready for kindergarten. In that, we came up with an idea to employ that into a mobile application. That mobile application allows students to access parents to access apps where they can view information on how to get their kids ready for kindergarten. And in that, that app pretty much just boots up anytime you click on it and brings up a checklist where you can check off things that you've done with your kid and also show the progress in getting your kid ready for kindergarten.
So, for example, did you read to your child? Did you bring your child to the park? Did you listen to music together? And a way for a parent to sort of go through and sort of check those things as they do them and remind them that it's good to do a balanced variety of things, right?
Absolutely, and it also aggregates or collects data on any events that are family-oriented that would help with that child's learning. It also has books in there that is unique to the child's age that you can tailor. And it's also in 2 different languages, which is a new precedent for mobile applications as well.
So this is a way then, for example, to connect parents and children to community events that are going on, but also a way to unify some of the many varied services that are available for pre-K children and their parents.
Absolutely. The whole thought was to make it a comprehensive application for getting your kid ready for kindergarten. And
so talk a little bit about, you have this concept, you have this idea, you get together a group of Parkland students together with some University of Illinois students. How quickly did it take the students to get going with the idea?
Within a week, the students were ready to go forward with the project. We formed teams, we identify strengths and weaknesses so we can position ourselves for strengths, and we divvied up the production line for this mobile application. Because of this timeline, it is very aggressive to get a mobile app in 2 months. Most companies even take years to get one ready.
Talk a little bit about how the Parkland students sort of dealt with, these meetings were held over at Enterprise Works, I think, and on the Research Park, and interacting with University of Illinois students and maybe Parkland College students sort of maybe a little nervous about being out of their comfort zone. Talk about how the initial reaction to the sort of context was, or the situation, and then how they grew as the program went on.
So a lot of them were uncertain when they started, understandably. You have a new group of students from different perspectives that are coming at this challenge from different angles. And we really worked on that team building atmosphere to have a cohesive relationship amongst each other. From then on, I think we've even talked with the students. They've enjoyed this project. Their confidence levels are a lot higher. A lot of them received jobs afterwards. And they really liked the fact that they had hands-on experience and was in an environment that seemed very real to them.
And we had some students who had completed a program at Parkland, some students who were in the middle of a program at Parkland. But one of the goals was, the secondary goal, if you like, obviously to get an experience, to get this experience, to be exposed to a variety of different influential people in the community, but then also to help them to build some resume skills as well as some connections that might lead to employment of a full or part-time variety. And that has worked out for some of our students.
Absolutely. We also have or had a Patrick McKay, president of 004. I know that is a person that recruits quite a bit of talent from Parkland as well. And even just in his guest speaking to the group, he took the time to go around the table to identify everyone's background because he was looking at prospects for hiring.
Sure.
So, a lot of this this whole program is geared towards to be almost like a pre-MBA, so you have that network before you even get to the career fair.
So for students who are interested, they don't need to think, oh, I haven't had experience in this environment, or I haven't completed a degree. It doesn't matter because you're working in this collaborative team environment. I know one thing that has been was said to me by one of the students was that they worked a lot more on this project than they anticipated that they would.
Absolutely.
But it was fun.
Absolutely. They really saw this as theirs, in which it is. The students have full autonomy on what this mobile application looks like and how it works. We guide them through the process, but it's very much them taking the hard skills that they learn from Parkland and employing them in a real life setting.
And this is a real app now. It's up and it's live and it's being utilized.
Absolutely, yes. It's you can go to Google Play if you have an Android phone to download. You can go to iTunes and download the iOS version, and you can certainly access it through the website if you don't have a phone that's compatible with that.
How has it been received by the local community and beyond?
It's been received great. United Way is just taken back and excited about this application. They're also working to roll that in their campaign, and we just learned new news too that United Way Corporate out of Virginia is actually wanting to incorporate that into their campaign as well. And so right now we're gearing up for phase 2.
So our students 8 weeks to get together, they work in collaboration with the team, and next thing you know, you've got potentially a national organization that is looking at something that was developed here in Champaign-Urbana.
Absolutely, and a new family. That we also had that element in there too. They have new connections too that we've also incorporated for LinkedIn as well, for LinkedIn groups for students to keep in contact.
And so it sort of fulfills your social engagement mission as part of Lost Points. And we're talking now about expanding this program. So we see this as a model that we think can be replicated. We can repeat this model for a variety of students in a variety of different majors. Maybe at the beginning, sort of primarily sort of in the software engineering, graphic design kind of model, but possibly could be expanded to other academic areas if we have the opportunity. Talk about phase 2, what your interest is in developing the next cohort of Parkland students this semester.
Yes, so for phase 2, we're looking at the database performance. We've collected a lot of data there, and although load times are very well, within 3 seconds, we're looking to improve that even further. In addition to that, we'll also do some restructuring with code to make that happen, employing some new technologies. We're looking at a new user interface design too as well that'll also incorporate some YouTube and PBS kid-friendly videos for the kids to watch if their parent is busy. And we're also looking at a mechanism for sponsorship too as well. So people that want to get in on some of the action here, they'll have that ability to help sponsor that app and help United Way further its goals.
You know, I was stunned the other day. You know, we've become accustomed to having very small children watch television, and that seems to be a normal practice now. But I was stunned very recently to see a very young child with their parents' iPhone interacting with that iPhone and manipulating it and making it work. So that's really the future, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, technology, and the reason why I jumped into it is that that's where the innovation's going on. I mean, if you see, if you look at accounting, if you look at medical, those have been there from, you know, the dawn of time. Technology is fairly new, and it's constantly evolving, and that's why there's such great demand for it.
I think one of the other things as well that has come out as part of this project, and I know something that you want to continue to do with Parkland students, is that having this trust in students to come up with solutions to problems. And they can do it very quickly and have a lot of fun doing it and really grow, I think, as students. Something you've observed?
Oh, absolutely. Just the students coming in, knowing their strengths and weaknesses. A lot of students, including, you know, us adults, do not know their weakness, you know, until it's exposed through an aggressive, you know, timeline. And the hope out of that is to recognize your weakness and position yourself for your strength. So that way, if you go into, you know, your next career or you start up a new business, you know what you're good at and what you're not, and you can help position other people to fill those voids.
One of the other things I know that we've asked you to sort of be involved with here at Parkland College is sort of an entrepreneur in residence. The idea that you will be available for other organizations or groups. We have some ideas about some things that we might be involved with at Parkland. Obviously, our Parkland community is very engaged in lots of outreach opportunities, since we want to engage the community in learning as much as we possibly can. Talk a little bit about your interest in that entrepreneur in residence kind of role and your ability or interest in working with affiliated groups, and then also maybe perhaps sort of walk us down the path of the future a little bit and think about what other kinds of activities we might do here at Parkland.
Absolutely. So going back to what I call the EIR, Entrepreneur in Residence, you know, some students have a hectic schedule, and so we know that all students can't always participate at all the times that we offer this program together. So we want to make sure that we dedicate time to meet with students and still work with them and consult them on their ideas that they want to bring to fruition. I know that Parkland's dedicated to helping that as well. So I've been fortunate to have been working with Chandu Drang from here at Parkland to help mentor her and her ambitions. And I'm looking for other students too that want to look at that all in the same. In addition to that, I think the future of this is very bright. Entrepreneurship is a very real thing that we're seeing in not just colleges but universities around. It's coming at a time frame where we need more job creators as well. And I'm happen to believe that we're right now involved into the new economy, which will embody technology, which will embody entrepreneurship. The only thing right now is that we're trying to figure out what that looks like, but I have reason to believe that our students here at Parkland and beyond are the future.
Well, I know that Parkland in the past and going into the future has always been a great incubator for new ideas and for application of new technology, certainly exposing our students to the new technologies. I think there's some exciting times ahead for what we can do in this field.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more.
I want to thank you for being here today at Parkland Report. It's always a pleasure to see you, and thank you so much for your work here at Parkland College.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is mine.
That's it for this edition of Parkland Report. We'll see you back here next time. Good stuff.